today for a very special event. I want to recognize the members of the Buckhead City Executive Committee, Leila Laniato and Sam Linnaeus. Where are you, Sam? Come on up here. Sam, please. Today we are announcing something very special. We have some very courageous elected officials standing behind us. They are here to announce something very important that will be coming up in our special session and the legislative session. But I just wanted to say a few things in this beautiful Loudermilk Park, which is really part of the central part of Buckhead. We have the Buckhead Theater, we have our great restaurants and shops, and you see the traffic here, and you see that Buckhead is alive. But behind the scenes, there is much going on in Buckhead that is not good for us. Our taxes continue to go up, while our city services go down. Violent crime is through the roof here in Buckhead. Our murder rate in Buckhead is up from 2019 by 140%. Those are APD statistics. Our shootings are up 170%. And we have three things going on which prevent us from having the proper protection and that prevent us from not living in fear. The residents of Buckhead believe that we are living in a war zone. Those are the facts. Our polling shows that. Our conversations online show that. As heated as the conversations get, everybody agrees that the crime is out of control. And we believe there are three reasons for that. Number one, there's a total lack of leadership from the city of Atlanta. When you announce that you are firing 5 distinguished African-American police officers for simply doing their job, and you allow them to be summarily prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for doing their job, you break a sacred trust with the police officers and their families. And we believe that that bond has been broken. I'm not saying it's permanent, but it is very seriously broken. They don't feel appreciated, they feel villainized, and they are demoralized. For $50,000 a year, would you put your life on the line to know that you're going to be fired, your pension is gone, your family is ruined, and now you're going to be prosecuted for doing your job? Enough is enough. And we are going to make those changes here in Buckhead City. We're going to pay our police officers. They will be the highest paid police officers in the state of Georgia. They will have a police car to take to and from their home. They will be part of the community. I say to the Loudermilk family, with permission, we are going to have a parade here for our police every 6 months to try to make up for the distrust that they have for this city. And we owe it to them. We owe it to them. They don't do it for the money. They do it because they love policing and they love their community. And so, as my hands tremble with this because it makes me so angry, we have good news. Our feasibility study is done, and it shows 2 things. One, we will only be taking 9.86% of the Atlanta's $2.1 billion annual operating budget. It's not 50%, like you hear the garbage from the Buckhead Coalition. Some of the representatives are here today spewing lies and doomsday drivel that Atlanta is going to go into the toilet if we do what we have to do to protect our lives and our livelihoods. Simply untrue. They're entitled to their own opinions, but they're not entitled to their own facts, and their facts are wrong. They're wrong. Let me tell you something about the Buckhead Coalition. The CEO and the chairman don't live in Buckhead. Think about that for a minute. They get taxpayer dollars to support their efforts from a $3 million tax they receive in their CID. So don't be fooled when you hear baloney that taxpayer dollars are not being spent to attack its own citizens, because they are. And that's not right. That is not right one bit, that our taxpayer dollars are not being spent on police, fire, picking up the landscaping trimmings, the recycling, and our roads getting fixed. Why are they being spent on lobbyists and high-powered spokespeople who are lying to you about what the realities are on the ground? But here's the hope. Buckhead will become its own city if these great legislators behind us and the many behind them who are courageous, who support law enforcement, who support law and order, and who also support the sacred right to vote. They are going to give us the right to vote. They're not creating a city. You can't yell at any one of these wonderful patriots. So, hey, this is the money we're going to spend on this. They're just giving us the right to vote. What is wrong with that? Does everybody want the right to vote? We all do. So we are so grateful that we have some senators who could not be here with us today. But I want to thank Senator Brandon Beach, who is a valiant, courageous sponsor of our bill in the Senate. He is a great friend. He is a great patriot. He believes in law and order, and he believes in not suppressing someone's right to vote. But we have a distinguished senator who I have gotten to know in the last year and a half, and I have so much respect for him and his colleagues behind him. And he is going to sign our bill today, and that's significant because Senator Burt Jones believes that Buckhead City, in the simple equation, A, has a right to control its own destiny, a right to control its own taxpayer dollars, and a right to not be living in fear anymore of going to the gas station. My friend's mother, 74 years old, was shot at the Peachtree Mall the other day for simply picking up the phone to call 911 on two criminals who were robbing a car there. Thank God there was a man there with a gun. And one of those people, unfortunately, is no longer with us, and the other one is going to jail for murder. But that woman is a 74-year-old mother, and those stories continue. We had a shooting here at Lenox Mall. They have to create these crazy policies of you can't go after 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock without an adult, all this crazy stuff. Because Atlanta has left them high and dry to take care of their own protection when we should be arresting, prosecuting and arresting shoplifters, chasing cars that commit felonies, stopping the street racing here. Listen, the chief lobbyist for the city of Atlanta lives in that building. And my good friend lives in that building. So I know that the chief lobbyist for the city of Atlanta doesn't sleep normally at night because my friend doesn't. And I know which floors people are on. Now, why aren't they able to sleep in this beautiful home that they're in? Because street racing, because the cruising. This has got to stop. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce a man I have so much respect for. He has gathered 12 senators. 12 senators. If you look at how many senators sign a bill normally, we're going to break a record. We're going to break a record, and that says something significant. So please join me in welcoming the Honorable Burt Jones, Georgia State Senator.
Good morning, everyone. Bill, thank you. And thank you, Buckhead City group, for organizing this event here.
Hear you.
Can't hear me? Simply put, crime has gotten out of control in the city of Atlanta. And that breaks my heart because in a city where we've always been known for a city too busy to hate, we're now known as too busy, particularly pertaining to our elected officials locally, too busy to care. And when you have your citizens that are afraid to walk down the street, go exercising down the road, or go to the grocery store, it's a problem, it's an issue for the citizens, but it's also bad for business. When you have businesses that are worried about whether or not they're going to have people to show up, number one, or they're going to be harassed or robbed themselves, that's bad business. And it'll hurt you long term when other venues are looking at the city of Atlanta as a possible place to come, which we've always had a lot of success in that industry, but I worry about that future. So quite simply putting this, we're allowing the citizens and my colleagues here behind me, Greg Dolezal, Randy Robertson, and Senator Brandon Beach, we're just trying to give the opportunity to citizens of Buckhead to determine their own future. And that's it. And then we'll talk about all the things of why it can be done and all this, but the truth of the matter is, we need to allow the citizens of Buckhead that opportunity to vote on their future, because right now they feel like they're at a loss of any leadership at the city level, and I don't blame the APD. Those are good men and women at the APD. I've talked to many of them. Good men and women, but their morale is at an all-time low. They got a mayor won't back them up. They got a DA that will not prosecute, and they have a situation over there where they feel like they could lose their own livelihoods just by doing their job. So I commend City of Buckhead, Bill White, the author of the bill, Brandon Beach, and the citizens for wanting to exercise your right as citizens to determine your own future. Thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite two of our other senators to please make remarks. Greg Dolezal and Randy Robertson. Greg, we got to know you over the last year. You're a great friend, a great patriot. You're a true public servant. I know all of these things have nothing to do with politics with us. You know, we are nonpartisan. We are not Biden people. We're not Trump people. We're not Stacey people. We're not Brian people. We're just normal people, normal, that want to not live in fear. And I know that's what drives you. This is not about politics for us. When you see the mayor and the city council voting in February of 2023, those will be nonpartisan elections. So we will keep our word on that. And without further ado, Senator Greg Dolezal.
Thank you, Bill. It's good to see everybody here on a beautiful Atlanta afternoon here in Buckhead. We are here for two reasons. We're here because something is broken and we need a solution. There were two senators this year who spoke about violent crime in our capital city at our Senate floor, and they're both before you today. Sadly, far too many of our colleagues have remained silent in the midst of rising crime in our capital city. And what I share with my colleagues when I spoke with Senator Beach on the rising crime in our capital city is that I'm a refugee. I'm a first-generation Georgian. And I come from a city called Chicago, Illinois, a faraway land. It's unrecognizable today from the city that I knew when I grew up. And the warning that I gave my colleagues is the same warning that I will give you today. So once you lose a city, it is nearly impossible to get it back. And we are seeing crime, violent crime in the city of Atlanta eclipse numbers and equal numbers in the city of Chicago. And we are here today, what everybody will agree with, no matter where you stand on the city, is that something has to change. The second reason we're here today is because we believe in the principles of self-determination and self-government. It's a founding bedrock of this country. And we believe, just like those that have come before us, that have formed counties and have formed cities and have even formed states, that the citizens should choose their form of government. It's up to the 103,000 citizens of Buckhead to make this choice, not 236 elected officials under the gold dome. So we look forward to giving the citizens the opportunity to determine their form of government. We're obviously hearing a lot about law and order today, and there's not anybody in our chamber who knows more about law and order than my sweet mate, Randy Robertson. And I'd like to turn the mic over to him.
Thank you, Greg. I'm Senator Randy Robertson, and I've stood in the well in the Georgia State Senate, and I've talked about who I am. And I've told my fellow senators and others that at the end of my life, my tombstone will have many names on it. It'll be father, it'll be brother, son, state senator, but at the very top, it'll say law enforcement officer. It'll say cop. because for 31 years, that's what I was full-time, and I still am today. It is certainly not a job I ever aspired to be as a kid, playing in Harris County, Georgia. It was nothing that I ever felt that I would fall into. But it was an absolute calling that I found myself into, assured my mother I would do it for 12 months as an adventure and then move on. And then 31 years later, I retired from a large sheriff's office. But I understand the communities that I serve. And I understand law enforcement. And if you want to destroy public safety, then you allow politics to become part of the discussion. And you will absolutely destroy it. And you've seen it here because politics cost 6 law enforcement officers their jobs. Politics cost a small child her life in the parking lot of a burned out Wendy's restaurant. Politics has caused hundreds of deaths, needless deaths, in the city of Atlanta and in the city of Buckhead. And it is only one person's responsibility to stand up for that, and that are the men and women in Georgia who vote and determine who their elected officials are going to be. And the city of Buckhead, the coalition that's put together to push this forward, you are courageous. And I thank you for it. I thank you on behalf of every man and woman that wears a badge and gets up every day to go out and do their job so they can serve you, not concerned about what their salary is, but they reap so much knowing you support them and care about them. That matters more than money. But I also have to thank people. I have to thank Senator Brandon Beach for being courageous enough to spearhead this thing and to get it moving. I have to thank state law enforcement officers and Governor Brian Kemp for their crime suppression teams that have been working overtime to do the job that the leadership of the city of Atlanta will not allow their law enforcement officers to do. And finally, I have to thank Mayor Bottoms. I want to thank Mayor Bottoms for understanding that she does not understand public safety. I want to thank her for understanding that she has failed the citizens of Atlanta, Georgia. And I am dead serious. I want to thank her for understanding that she is not qualified to manage men and women who take an oath to give their lives for people they don't know in the cities that they and their families live in. God bless each and every one of you. God bless you all. Stay safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, our sponsor of our Senate bill, the Honorable Brandon Beach. Brandon, we love you, sir.
Well, Bill, thank you for that introduction. Thank you to the Buckhead City Committee, and thank you for all of you here that are supporting Buckhead. I appreciate you coming out today. I want to let you know that 2 people have already signed the bill. We're going to be here with us to stand with us, and that's Majority Leader Steve Gooch, who had to be in Dahlonega for business, and the governor's floor leader, Senator Clint Dixon, was going to be with us today too. But he is in St. Simons at an airport meeting that Senator Ginn called. So I just want to tell you that this is a great day. I'm with some courageous guys. I can tell you this, if I'm going to be in a foxhole, I want these 3 guys with me. I can tell you that. And I can tell you this, that when you look at Senator Jones, and he recently, about 2 years ago, brought a bill forth on the corruption at the Atlanta City Airport. And I can tell you, all 3 of these guys got backbone because they were involved in it. I was involved in it. We got it through the Senate, got it through my transportation committee, got it through the Senate. It died in the House. But we opened some eyes up on what's going on in the city of Atlanta with the airport. So I would just tell you that. The other thing, I will guarantee you, Senator Bill Rizal, we will not become Chicago. I can promise you that. And that's what this bill does. We're going to concentrate on law enforcement and support law enforcement and crime. And I'll tell you something nobody's talking about is, and I know Senator Jones touched a little bit on the economic development consequences when you have high crime, but the convention business We have 1.5 million square feet of convention business. And if you think people are gonna come here and have their convention, if they're scared and they don't feel safe, it's not gonna happen. And we won't have another Super Bowl, we won't have another All-Star game, we won't have anything if people don't feel safe to come to our city. And so this is what this is all about. I am honored to carry this bill. It's got a lot of momentum just by the fact y'all are here, but I'm getting phone calls from people saying thank you for doing this, and we're gonna do this. And I just want to thank Senator Jones, Senator Robinson, and Senator Dolezal for having the courage to sign this bill with me. And I can tell you again, if I'm gonna be in a foxhole, I want these three guys with me. They will not waver, and we will get this done. So again, thank you for your support here today. We're going to do a little ceremonial sign-up of the bill. We have the bill right here. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Bill White from the Buckhead City Committee.
Thank you, Senator. They probably don't want me to do this. I'm going to say thank you, Doug, for being here. I want to recognize our strategic team. I see Terry Chastain, John Garst, Dan Beeson from KWI. Am I missing Chuck McMillan over there, who is helping us with the House and the Senate? I want to thank some of our great supporters, Mr. Jolly, Ms. Degolian. We love you both. Thank you for being here. And we love this beautiful Loudermilk Park. Don't we love this beautiful park?
Yes.
Thank you so much to the Loudermilks for all of their support of this great city. When we get Buckhead City up and running, that amazing donation that the Loudermilks made for cameras, all of our cameras that they've donated will be working in Buckhead City. They'll be recording, and they'll be able to stop crimes like the one in Piedmont Park, which unfortunately we were not able to see. There were 3 cameras in there, and the city of Atlanta did not maintain those cameras. So I would tell you that this is what we're dealing with. If I could ask Christian Zem, yes? Oh yeah.
One thing I did forget to say, and that is that we go back in special session in November, and this bill will not be part of the special session. That being said, Chairman Lee Anderson is going to allow us to have committee hearings on the feasibility study and allow me to outline the bill. So we will be having committee meetings during special session so that we can get ahead of it, so that when we come in January, we can hit the ground running and get this out of committee, get it to the Rules Committee, and get it on the floor of the Senate. So this is important that Chairman Lee Anderson of SLOGO is allowing us to have these committee hearings during the special session. So I meant to bring that up, and I want to make everybody aware. So we may be asking you to come down to a hearing, and one of the things I'm going to tell you, when Bill White and the committee ask you to send out an email or request something sent to their representative senators, do it. It matters. It matters. We listen to these emails and so on. So stay engaged and be ready to, when you see a call to action, be ready to get into action and help us, okay? But it will be in November. We'll be having hearings on this in Lee Anderson's committee. He's already agreed to do this, and we will have those. We go in November 3rd.
Thank you, Brandon. And that's a big deal, to have hearings during the special session. We will be, and we thank Chairman Lee Anderson. Please give him our best regards. And we understand that we will be having news about a similar set of emergency hearings during the special session in the House. So we'll be back to you on that, but that's major news for us, that these hearings will advance our cityhood bill. And I'm sorry, I see Gary, hello, brother. How are you, sir? Gary Brock, and Mike, nice to see you. Mike Russell, who's correct? Yes? Handsome guy running for office. We should all be talking to him. Jamie, come on up here. Jamie Inslee, Christian Zem. We're going to put our folks at the table here with the senators. If I could ask Senator Brandon Beach to take position number 1, Senator Jones to take the seat next to him. The senators could join us right behind our bill sponsor and our signers. And if I could ask the Buckhead City folks to gather around on each side, please, each side. If I'm missing somebody who should be standing up here because I can't see you, come on up. Brian, you want to come up? Hi, Susan. Warren, you want to get up there? Anybody? That was the drop the mic moment for Bertone. Not sure. Senator Robinson will sign the bill. Thank you, Senator Golden. Thank you, Bert. Can somebody grab a photo of this for us, please? Or if you can do it horizontal, I think it'd be a sustainable pretend. Thank you, Warren Jolly.